John, I guess we're ready for you.
Well, you guys all remember John Winchell with FC in Early. I went to the city council meeting for the urban transition zone of the food bin site. And I guess then I was informed we need to come to the board of supervisors to have you guys approve the same motion.
We've done that before.
And obviously reason being, move out of town, keep everybody happy, keep the dust out of everybody's houses and noise.
Sure.
We have a new policy at FC too, it's called a good neighbor policy. Even all our existing fans and whatnot, we're gonna start putting like aeration tubes on them to point them to the ground, to try to quiet them up. Dust control, all sorts of things. We've even started oiling the rock, you know, your semi-traffic, so you don't have the dust getting stirred up. And so this new site, you know, we don't have to worry about. We'll still do it out there, but just to, you know, get out of town to eliminate problems is what we're after.
So,
I'll move to approve the construction in the urban transition zone.
I'll second that.
motion's been made and seconded to approve construction in the urban transition zone in Early, Iowa. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. And it's approved.
Appreciate it, gentlemen.
Do you have a form or anything that they need to sign?
No, it was the same thing at the early city council. They
Just the motion? that's
just
all
the
you-
motion,
okay.
and they said it's,
That'll be our minute.
Just in the minutes.
yeah, it's in the minutes, so.
I'll send you a copy.
Okay.
When are you gonna start building, or what's your construction plan?
As I came down here, they just unloaded another bulldozer and excavator. They're starting today.
You hoping to have something out by?
They won't have anything up that fall. They're gonna get, they re-looked at the situation, you know, we're at meetings, they said, now, you guys got this all planned out, you build this first bin. You know, they plan on 8 more bins and possible feed mill, or whole agronomy plants getting moved out there. I said, you know, you build this one bin, everything else is gonna be built off that, so that bin better be, they gotta move dirt, I guess, on the whole property, get things flowing right. And then it started out with the lanes. They said all you're gonna have to do is make such a wide lane, the state said. But then we had to do more
Are you doing, we were talking about that last week.
studies, and
Are you gonna do a turning lane?
I haven't heard that they're gonna do a turning lane yet, so we'll see, because everything's all approved, signed, so they're gonna do lanes first. So we'll see when they start doing these lanes, if it's gonna be a turning lane or just, they called it, I can't remember what they call it, something radius lane that is wide enough that a semi can be coming out and turn on the road without crossing the center line. There's room enough for another semi to turn in, is what they were talking at first, but then all of a sudden they were gonna do more studies, research, so I'm not sure.
So just the experience that we see, you know, like a lot of the, if you go by an ethanol plant,
Yeah.
there's tons of trucks,
Yeah,
and quite often they'll have a parking place.
yeah, if they get, you know, they get everything up there talking of putting up it earlier, we'll have an issue of, and they're gonna put 2 scales in, so you got an in and out scale, so you don't have traffic waiting to get in type deal. You know, you'll get them wade right in and get them off the road. So if that, you know, maybe they're still not gonna have to do the turning lanes, because you'll get them in, then we'll have our staging area on the property, where you'll have your line up, so.
That's, you know, that'll probably change if they, it'll take some traffic off if they
Yeah.
do 196
Yeah.
as 71, but
Yeah, that'll make
it's a pretty busy.
that'll make a big difference. Yeah,
Busy.
there's times for early, well, our agronomy plant's east of town, all our ammonia tanks, we gotta pull them uptown to weigh them. There's times you'll sit there by Rice Brothers Station, it seems like forever,
Really?
because the traffic just doesn't quit, and the next 10 times, you don't see a vehicle. It just kinda varies. You guys have any tractors and wagons?
And that was
Yeah.
that was another discussion. You know, though they only go 20 mile an hour, and that's
Yeah.
so good. Well, I'm glad you're
Yeah, they want to get all the dirt work done, and if they, depending on weather, they might start pouring some concrete out this fall, but it's more of a, it'll be next year. We'll have plenty of time to have it up for next fall.
That's not bad.
You never know what things drag out.
Well, that's true, yeah. That's true.
Construction seems like,
Yeah,
How big is that first bin?
700,000. The plans will be 700,000s there.
Wow.
So, and then 2 million bushel covered piles.
Where are they gonna draw all that?
Right now, if we could take it, we could take twice what we take right now.
What are you taking now?
We take about, just fall, we take 2 million.
Dan?
Yeah, just,
Listen,
that's just corn.
you know, that's,
500,000.
yeah, you know, as you think about it, there's so much available, you know, and
Well, and everybody, I mean, when you talk tractors and wagons, there's fewer of them every year.
sure.
I mean, we got just the early 2 guys that have been tractors and wagons forever, they've got semis for this far. So they start putting this stuff on semis, they're gonna go wherever they've done.
That's very true.
We had some of the bigger ones from Oldville area this year, or last fall, were gonna hit us, you know, one guy called, I'm gonna hit you with 4 semis for probably 4 days. Well, two of their semis sat in line for a half hour, never saw them again. They took it all to Fonda, because they could get done. They'll go wherever they can go to keep the combine rolling,
Yep.
so.
but just, they get out of town, one of the grain merchandisers over at Arthur told me that they're putting a new dryer in Arthur,
Mhm.
but they can only run it 2 months.
Yep.
And he says because of air pollution.
Air pollution is. See, that's, yeah, they always thought an ethanol plant would never be able to put a dryer in because they're almost maxed on all their
Emissions.
and stuff, but they found a loophole, they can run it a couple months, that's it, that's they can run it. But,
That seems like a waste. Put a dryer system in.
well, and everybody always said ethanol plants wouldn't build storage either. Look what they got there in Arthur, put up a 1 million bushel bin, they got a 2 million bushel covered pile they're putting in.
Oh, are they?
I'd say that's storage.
Doesn't surprise me.
Putting up 3 million worth of storage.
Oh, it's you know, you can think about it a couple of different ways. You're gonna have the cost of building it, and you're gonna have to maintain that. You know, where before they were only holding a 10-day draw, but then you also have supply, so
Yeah,
it's about a
it'll be interesting.
50-50 deal.
Where do you think a lot of your corn will go?
A lot of our corn out of early will go to ethanol plants. We started just this year, before, since I've been there 4 years, all of our corn is intercompany transfers. We take it from early to Oldville, Yetter, goes on trains. Well, we don't hardly load any trains anymore. It all goes to ethanol plants. We've been going to Galva and Albert City out of early. But, yeah, trains, well, they're even saying like Oldville, Niagara Grove, for the next 5 years, the plan is they won't even load a train in either one of those locations. And even beans are going to processors anymore, they're not going on rail.
A new Highway 20 in 3 years will be good. You can go over to Valero or,
Yep, that's another thing we're kind of looking at early there, as far as farmer receipts. I mean, west to east, who knows how far, you can dump it, they'll be at your door.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Because you look at farmers anymore, look at the equipment they got. You know, they aren't gonna let it sit in the field waiting to dump. They're gonna go wherever, and if it, they'll, you know, spend another 5 cents a bushel to haul it, just to get it done. You know, then they get done with harvest, they go back to their, you know, same routine.
And it's, it seems like there's, with the weather situations, you know, you have a limited amount of time. And
There's a lot of them got a little scared after last year with all the corn standing out in the field. But, and you know, a lot of that wasn't that far west of us.
no.
And all them other elevators over that way, well, even Shaler last year was closed for 8 days. Well, we had them coming early like you wouldn't believe, but there's only one problem, we only done this in the back. But they had no other option either, you know. But
Oh, good,
it'll make a big difference, so.
excellent.
Well, I'll let you guys get on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Guess we'll go into recess until the county engineer arrives.